to put yourself in a place of respectability is what it's all about. And for WBC middleweight champion Carlos Adames, he's done exactly that for himself. And I totally respect his position. And recently, Adames was interviewed post his title challenge from Hamza Sheeraz, whom, after not being able to take the title away from Adames, has decided to move on up to 168 pounds. And Adames is really feeling himself at this moment, stating that there's no middleweight that can defeat me right now. And according to an article from Boxing Scene, the link will be in the description, written by Tris Dixon. It goes on to state that relaxing back at his home in the Dominican Republic following his controversial draw with Hamza Sheeraz, WBC middleweight champion Carlos Adames took time out to reflect on his journey. Adames, who's 30, appeared hard done by to be awarded just a draw against Sheeraz, but nonetheless retained his title and is now 24-1-1 with 18 KOs. He also is finally starting to get credit he believes he was due a long time ago. You see, my thoughts about Carlos Adames was it was the best performance that I have seen from him as a contending fighter as well as a champion representing. I knew that the challenge from Hamza Sheeraz would be tight, but it didn't work out that way. Carlos came out and was completely active. He had upper body movement. He had head movement. He was taking his head off a center line. He was not giving Sheeraz anything easy. And understand that Sheeraz was originally contending toward Zanabak Alamkuli middleweight championship, and he switched over to WBC. So they thought, meaning Hamza's people, thought that Adames would be an easier place to try to challenge, but it didn't turn out that way. The 30-year-old Dominican came out and was highly motivated, and he fought like it. The judges were biased. I will say that because they were fighting in Riyadh season, Saudi Arabia, and Hamza, being a man of a certain background, they were trying to press for that opportunity for him. But if he's not up to the task as far as his abilities, then you shouldn't penalize a man who has represented and defended his title the way that you're supposed to do, the right way. I had Adames winning that fight easily, and Sheeraz looked like a deer in headlights. It really looked like he got to a point in the fight where he said, wow, this guy is better than I thought he was and better than what they told me he was, and I'm not prepared for this. That's exactly what it looked like. That's exactly how it played out. And so by them giving the final decision a draw, it was more in the case of them trying not to have a blemish on Sheeraz's 21-0 record instead of respecting the champion's 24-1-0 record, and he had defended his title admirably. But this is boxing politics. We hope that this is going to get to be a smaller thing, but it is still prevalent in the sport, and we've got to get away from that. Sheeraz was not up to task, and so now he's going to move up to an even tighter division at super middleweight, where there are just tons of animals in the forest waiting to prey upon him. If he doesn't go back to the gym and start working on certain aspects of his boxing game, he's only going to be fooled. Yeah. Now, getting back to the boxing scene article, Adames was quoted. There's an old saying that says, it's not how the warrior falls, it's how he gets up, as he told Boxing Scene. And to be real with you, at that moment when I lost, I thought maybe my career could be over, but I have learned through the years that through my camp and my team, each camp has to be perfect and you have to work hard in each camp. That's how I got here. That's my development. And I can confidently say I'm the best at 160 right now. There's nobody in the division that can beat me right now. And he says, I would like more activity. I would like to fight more often. I had only one fight in 2023 and one fight in 2024 because I'm the best fighter and the most feared in the division, so it was hard to get matchups. But we're working on fighting more often. His fight with Teixeira followed a decision with a win over Patrick Day. Day and Adames went in different directions, and although they both lost their next fights, the much-loved Day lost his life 4 months later following a fight with Charles Conwell. I'm very aware of the dangers of the sport, Adames admitted. That's why I always try to be fair and just. I'm always responsible, and I always try to make the fights fair for both sides. I don't like any of that steroid use because any of us could get sent to a wheelchair or get in a really bad state in a coma or anything. I know it's a really dangerous sport. You see, Adames is a victim in this situation as well, and I'll tell you how he's being a victim. Even though he had his victory over Sheeraz, he's ranked at middleweight number 5 behind Sheeraz, who is behind Zanabek, Chris Eubank Jr., and Erislandy Lara. You see, those men that are above him, he could fight those guys and have equal opportunity at victory against any of them. And we know that Zanabek is one champion, as well as Lara is a champion. Bruno Sarachi defeated Jaime Munguia, and he's behind Adames. There are fighters that can give Adames activity, but remember, there are promoters out here who are trying to protect certain fighters' records. And that's a problem that Adames is going to have to deal with as well, because he wants to be active, but there are guys that are just out here trying to protect themselves. And at the end of the day, you can't protect yourself outside the ring, inside the ring, and during a fight at the same time without understanding that there are some vulnerabilities to allow you the opportunity to ascend to a new level. But I digress. Salute to our brother, Carlos Adames, who's representing well, and I hope that he is able to fight at least 2 more times this year, because he's the type of fighter that is motivated, and you could tell he comes in shape, he's always looking to do his best, and he's been around some people who have been able to show him the game. So, with that being said, we look for him to get out there and get another opportunity to defend his world title. This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC and Liberated Perspective, a third eye view of the world. For more content such as this, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Let me know your thoughts about Carlos Adames. Like I said, the article's link will be in the description box, and you can leave comments and we could discuss further. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.